Good morning and welcome to Inside South Florida. I'm Dave Azer. Today, thinking of getting your child a cell phone? We've got great advice on what you and your kids need to know. Plus, there's a new robotics procedure that could fix your chronically bad back. We'll get you straightened out. And we'll give you the list of some great events going on across South Florida here in August. That and more as Inside South Florida starts right now. South Florida children return to school in just a couple of weeks, and chances are many of them are going to be getting their first cell phones or tablets ever. But with all the choices and plans out there, how do you know which one is best for you? Kelly Starling with AT&T is here to break it down. Kelly, thank you so much for coming in. How are you?
Good, thanks for having me.
So this is an exciting weekend because South Floridians all over the place are running around, scrambling, buying stuff. It's tax-free chaos. Right. And I'm sure a lot of our viewers are going to go shopping this afternoon, maybe some parents shopping for their kids. They might be buying them cell phones or tablets, wireless devices. Right. So we're going to spend some time talking about that. So what is the first thing a parent needs to do before they buy their kid a cell phone?
Do their homework. That's the first thing we say. Do what we call a cell assessment, because you want to make sure you get the best device, the best plan that's not only going to meet your child's need, but the family's needs. So ask yourself questions like, okay, when is Tommy going to be using this phone? Where? Make sure when you're shopping with a provider to look at the coverage map so you make sure you have coverage everywhere the child will primarily use that device. And how are they going to use that device? Do you only want them using it for voice calls? Are you okay if they text? Are you okay if they, surf the internet and download apps and games? You need to determine all those things before you go shopping, and also set expectations with the child. I will tell you, if you're okay with your child texting and using the internet, make sure you get the right texting plan and data plan. And as any parent who has a child can tell you, a tween or a teen, texting is the #1 mode of communication for that age group. They just, for whatever reason, they prefer to text. So I would say look at an unlimited texting plan so you don't have sticker shock at the end of the month. That's really important.
Right. Find out your kid has sent 7,000 texts.
Exactly. And I'm sure we've all heard one of those stories like, what?
Right.
You sent 3,000 texts this month? So that's a given.
Yeah.
Also, it's really important to say, for instance, you're going to all be with the same provider. You might want to consider a family plan, because maybe everyone's on that plan and you can share minutes. Maybe you're light on minutes this month, you're going under, but the son's going over, you can share those minutes. That's feasible as well. And it's really important, especially with the younger users, because as we talked about, a lot of the users are getting younger and younger in age. Like 8, 9-year-olds are getting cell phones because parents want them, they want to have that connection with them. It's peace of mind. Ask the provider about parental controls. Ask what is available so that you can set boundaries, control the experience your child is going to have, and it also in the long run, it can help you control cost. So we have something called smart limits. You go in, you can decide what hours of the day your child uses his or her device. You can limit the number of texts. You can put a monetary limit on the amount of downloads they have. You can block certain numbers. You can block calls to 411, things like that. And that way you have peace of mind knowing, okay, well, he's not on some site I don't want him to be on. He's not going crazy downloading apps and games. And that, again, can prevent unexpected costs.
Can you even drop the ability for the kid to get on the internet? Can you get rid of that as well?
You can with the smart limits plan, and again, talk to all the providers have some type of parental controls. So that's what I'm saying. Ask that question. And in some situations, there's just the all or nothing approach, where on the device you can set it to keep them from getting to the internet at all, but you don't have as much flexibility. So that's why I'm saying definitely ask that question. Not only will it give you peace of mind, it can save you money. Also ask what kind of location-based services are available. With so many of us, having 2-income households, and there's some latchkey kids, it will let you know where your child is by finding the location of the child's cell phone. So if you know Tommy's supposed to be home at 3, you can set it up so that you get an alert at 3 and you check and see where his phone is, and sure enough, he's at home. Or if he's supposed to be at the soccer field, that's like Family Map. So there's all kind of mapping technologies. Ask the provider about that. And learn how to keep track of usage. Every provider has a way that you can just right from your device see how many minutes have been used that month, how much data has been used. For us, it's like star mins pound or stars data pound, and again, it helps you kind of stay on top. Are they going over? That way you can kind of know if you need to do any adjustments on the plan you got for them. And if you have a kid going to college out of state, make sure it's a, like a nationwide plan, so you don't have the roaming charges.
Well, your child's not going to want to ever talk to you anyway once they go to college.
Well, they'll just text you.
Right.
They'll
When they need
text
stuff.
you.
Mom, I need money. Wire me
right.
some money. How young are the youngest children that you're seeing getting cell phones?
Younger and younger. I will tell you. I will tell you that in my child's first grade class, there were twins in there that got iPads for Christmas and iPhones. And so, of course, my son was bugging me. I'm like, no, I know where you are. You're in Aftercare. No, we're not getting you a cell phone. But we are seeing more and more kids come in, like parents come in and get it for kids that are like 8 years old. And those are probably kids, maybe they walk home from school or something, and you just want to make sure that they get from point A to point B, so you have that peace of mind. So yeah, they are getting younger, and let me tell you something, they don't want like baby down phones either. They want what mom and dad are carrying and big sister. They want the full gamut.
Of course.
Yeah.
Come on. Now
So-
it's first grade. You got to look cool. You got to
That's
represent.
why I say set expectations before you go stop. And some parents, are fine with their kids having the latest and greatest.
Right.
That's the other thing I was going to mention. Decide, there's different purchasing options. Do you want a contract? Are you okay with a contract? Because if you go with the typical subsidized, you're going to get a 2-year contract and the subsidized price for that phone. Or some people like, I don't want a contract, I'm just going to pay the full price of the device, not be locked into a contract. Now a lot of the providers have new upgrade programs, like we have Next, where you don't put a down payment, you just pay monthly payments on that phone, and you get to change it every year. And that's for really the person that wants the latest and greatest.
Well, I
Does
think
the child need it?
during the course of this interview, there's been 2 new iPhone upgrades just in the last 6
yeah,
minutes. I feel like every month it's like iPhone 6 coming
The
out.
technology is changing quickly. It changes fast all the time.
Yeah.
And prepaid, postpaid. For some parents, if their kid's just starting out, they just want a prepaid device, and they use it in a way to teach fiscal responsibility. They're like, okay, I'm getting prepaid, there's no contract, we've loaded it with 100 minutes.
That's great.
When it's done, if you want more minutes, bring home a good report card.
Yeah, that's great.
And then you pay as you go,
Yeah.
and there's no contract involved.
Last thing I want to ask you is texting while driving.
Yes.
This is important, obviously, for the teenagers that are getting these phones, but as parents, too, you got to set a role model. You got to be a role model.
That is so important. And while, again, we target the teens because A, they're novice drivers and they're heavy texters, I say now you can't start educating your kids young enough about that. And you're right, that's why it's so important to set an example. We encourage parents to go to the itcanwait.com. It's a campaign, and other providers joined us this summer to have a heavy advertising campaign about it, because the 100 deadliest days on the road are from Memorial Day weekend to Labor Day. So we wanted to heighten the awareness. But go to that website. You can download a parent to teen pledge form, sit down, discuss it with your teen, sign it, have the teen sign it, but then you have to set the example, like you said. We did a survey earlier this year with business commuters, and 49% of them said that they text while driving, even though they know it's not safe, compared to 43% of teens who admitted to it.
Wow.
So we
Well,
have to set the example.
At least some laws are now starting to be in place in the state of Florida, where
Right.
hopefully it'll dissuade people from
Yes.
doing that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was great.
Thanks.
And I guess now, happy shopping, everybody.
That's right.
Yeah.
Spend.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks
a lot, Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. And coming up, meet an orthopedic surgeon who's performed over 4,000 surgeries. He'll get your back straightened out, and that's straight ahead when we come back.